when life seems all right, good and perfect, okay, when life, you expect life to be all right, it must go well, it must go fine, no destruction must happen. So when life seems all right, perfect, yeah, now it's going well, so suddenly terrors fall upon us. Suddenly something frightens us, some challenges hits us. So when we as people of God, when we are in prayer, or when we are good in our prayer life or Bible reading or going to the church, appearing in every service kind of thing, suddenly some negative things happen in our lives. Suddenly terrors fall upon us, frighten us, challenges hit us most times, and unexpected problems arises externally or internally. So all these things makes a person so sad and down. That's the psychological thing. So no one will smile for a smile. I mean, no one will smile for a failure or for a trouble or for a challenge. But it's a human nature to be dull and to overthink about that. It's fine. So in such times we would be frightened and nervous. We won't have any hope. We will lose all the confidence. So in such a nervous time, a frightened time, of course, in these times we go to our friends and call them for help. So how many of you have called your friends for any help? The help that you won't be able to ask your parents, but you will suddenly take your phone or mobile or mail or WhatsApp, anything, and you will suddenly text them or call them and tell your problem. Have you done that? Yes. So we immediately call a friend and we will ask guidance what to do and how to do this, how to handle this, how to overcome this, all these things. So, or we would, if our parents are so free to us, free in talking and sharing things, not so strict, a little liberal, we will go to our parents and ask them for guidance and help. So that's the thing that we will do. So, or if parents are not that much comfortable for us, we would ask some other people, like cousin, nephew, and any other people. So this will be the common one that we do, asking guidance and help from others. Fine. So how many of you or how many of us have the habit of calling upon God in such difficult times? How many of us? Very rare. So in hard times and hardships, we fail most of the times, and we don't cultivate the habit of calling upon God. So this is the hard times, so that we come across our lives. All of us would have such times, and this is hard sometimes. We forget to ask God for help. We ignore God most of the times. We say, okay, fine, let me ask God's help later. Let me try first, and let me have all the accessibility for my success, and let the doors that are shut before me, let me try that first, and then next, if not possible, I will go to God. So calling upon God is very, very difficult for many in these times, in these situations. So we see today people of God, believers, followers of Christ, calling upon somebody else for help, for guidance, for overcoming something in their lives. They try hard to reach out to someone else. They make a call, even if it is 2 o'clock, 12 o'clock, people don't mind. So they will immediately call a helper or call a friend and share things. So it's a very hard thing nowadays to cling upon God, to reach upon God, to call upon God. So even in the times of trouble, many people reach out to others and tell their problems. That's where every other problem in our life starts. So we would also do the same, I believe, as like the other people who go and ask aid and help from others before consulting to God, or before taking it up to God, we would sometimes, we would go to other people, not referring or consoling God. So wherever we go, just think this, wherever we go, whomever we find, whomever we call, whatever we do, without God, no change happens in our life. So this is fact, of course. In Christian life, if you knock somebody else's door other than God's door, nothing is going to happen, and no doors for you is going to happen or open. So the situation goes, when you knock others' door and ask others' guidance before God, the situation goes from bad to worse. Already that situation would be bad. When we don't consult God, that part would go to worse, from bad to worse. And sometimes when we keep on trying others except God, even that worst becomes ruin, nothing. So it is complete chaos that we bring upon our life when we don't find God, or when we don't find time to seek God and call upon God. So the reason for all these downfalls in one's life, in one's Christian life, is not calling upon God. The reason is that people don't call upon God. They not at all call upon God. They don't even have time to take their queries, their request to God. But we think that most of the times this is a practical problem, a failure or a challenge, a trouble. All these things are a practical thing, and what these practical things needs to do with God. God is in spirit. Bible says God is in spirit. So most of the times what people think is that God only deals spiritual matters. He does not seek physical problems of us, or he does not come for our aid and support or to bring out of the trouble. What we think, or most of the people think, is that God is spirit, so he deals only with the spiritual elements. That's it. Only with the spiritual hardships, only with the spiritual downfalls. So people, most of the times, they don't take the practical issue to God. They tell that this is practical, this is life-oriented thing. So this is a thing that happens in my occupation, that my workplace, in my educational place. So God is only dealing the holy things, only prayer, Bible reading. So if I sin, he cleanses me. If I go away, he brings me to his place, his path. So only these are the things that God will do, not these practical issues. No, that's wrong. God is almighty, right? He is able to make the chaos or that destruction to become into a good thing, a good moment. So he rebuilds the moment. If not, he gives us a new moment to enjoy. So many problems occur in our life, not because God is not considering us, but because we don't consider God most of the times. We don't knock God's door. So calling upon someone else in times of trouble is equal to neglecting God. It means I avoid God for certain reasons. I don't want God to come inside of my life, inside of my trouble, inside of my problem, and solve it. So it's like neglecting God. When you don't pray, when you don't take your problem to God, when you don't call upon God, it means indirectly you are neglecting God. We are neglecting God. And number two is that when we don't call upon God and call upon someone else, it means we are underestimating God. Just before I told, okay, God deals only these parts. Other parts I need to look at. So there's no guidance from God is there, no. So we most of the times we neglect God. We understand and limit God for several reasons. So most of the times we neglect God or misunderstand God, his power, his mightiness, his greatness, maybe knowingly or unknowingly. Some people, they deliberately ignore God. They purposefully ignore God. They tell to themselves, I will deal this. I need not want God to interfere in my problems or trials or temptations. But I will rather consult others, and I will do it on my own. I need not want God to do that. Or I don't want God to be my God or my guide. Things like that. So this is knowingly, deliberately neglecting or underestimating God. So most of the times, though we are Christians, followers of Christ, unknowingly several things happens. So neglecting God is that not listening to his words or not looking up to his promises that is in this Bible. So unknowingly, most of the times we make mistakes. So today, let us build a character and spiritual life by going first and giving priority to God first. So from now on, our first call must be God. In times of trouble, in times of testing, in times of trials, temptations, so for any matter, the first priority, the first call must not be to our friends, not on our parents, or to our parents, our relatives or friends, but our first call must be on God, upon God. So only calling upon God makes difference and changes in one's life. So if you want your problems to be vanished from your life, if you want your challenges to be destroyed, the one thing that you and I need to do today is to call upon God for a different life. So in the Bible we see many wonderful servants of God who gave priority to God. Before consulting to others, before asking guidance and help from others, we see many saints and many holy people, apostles, disciples, and many prophets and priests. They first consulted God, and for their victorious life, in their life, there was no secret other than they called upon God first. So people who call upon God and place God first in their life, all have succeeded and overcame all challenges and trials and problems. So not just seeking God and leaving that, but till we succeed, we need to call upon God. So they are all the ones who we should follow. So today, following someone is very easy, right? We have many influences today. So Instagram, Facebook or YouTube, or we have lots of influences, positive as well as negative. So once if people does something different from others, they will get popular in the society, in the social media. So nowadays becoming popular is very easy. In the olden days, the way of becoming famous and popular is to invent something, is to write some poem, or to discover something. So those times had very less number of influences, but most of the people were great influences. We can learn lessons from them. But nowadays, time changes, people change, society, culture changes, and we see and lots of negative influence coming. So in this negative influences among these people group, our focus and our inspiration must be the characters from the Bible, not from the outside. We can take, of course, only the good elements from outside. Only when their life is moral before God and before people, take them. But if not, just for a time pass or for an entertainment, if you keep a role model in your life, you are going to miss your mark and you are going to entirely mess up your thing. So why lots of people, even Christians, youth, they miss their mark. At certain age, they go away from God. So till their young age or till their adolescence, they will be very much faithful. They will be praying to God. But at a particular point of time, Such obeying and prayerful child goes away from God, because his influence was not from the Bible or from the character of the Bible or the words of God, but it was he chose somebody else as his influence and he followed their footsteps. So there are a lot of Christian actors, Hollywood actors, and there are a lot of Christian athletes, sports stars to follow. So not just Christian singers or pastors that influence the society, or I don't say that only you need to hold on to pastors, only to the evangelist, and only to the people who are before the worship, leading the worship. Only they are the only ones who we need to take as role models. No, there are lots of people away. So in every field there is a God-fearing person. So we see in Oscar Awards, a true Christian, what he does is that he thanks God first. As soon as he gets the award, he thanks God first, and he tells that this award is not by my strength, but it's only the God Almighty. Jesus Christ gave me this. So that's the good role model to follow. And many sports stars I have seen, after winning a match, they give glory to God. They will say, I thank Lord Jesus Christ for this victory. So there are lots of role models to follow, but we don't follow them. But our eyes will be fixed on people who bring new trends, new fashions, new words, new vocabularies, new styles, etc. So that's the saddest thing in today's Christian's life. So today, our role model for any matters, for faith, for obedience, for holy life, for victory, for facing the challenge, all the role models must be from the Bible. Other people who influence us and the good people that influence us must be like a side dish, and the main meal must be from the Bible. So in the Bible we see a wonderful man of God, so whom I personally admire and astonish, so is my role model too. And I believe that he can exactly be your role model and my role model too, for other generations too. So let us turn a Bible to Psalms 91, 15 to 16. Psalms 91, 15 to 16. And I will tell you who was that person I admired and still admiring and astonishing. So, Psalms 91, 15, it says, he will call on me, and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble, I will deliver him and honor him. The first line says, he will call on me and I will answer him. So God himself tells us to call upon him many times. In many parts of the scripture we see, call unto me and I will answer you. So there are lots of prophecy. Israel, when you call upon me, I will come and deliver you. So calling upon God is a wonderful thing when we do it rightly. There are two kinds of calling, two types of calling upon God. One is calling upon God for any matters. Lord, I face this challenge, Lord, you come and help me. Lord, I face this struggle, Lord, come and help me. This is one kind of calling on God, calling upon God. Number two is calling upon God when anything negative happens. Lord, please help me. So the connotation changes. So when we are all right, perfect, when our life is going, even at that good times, we need to call upon God. That's the true Christian nature. And people who call upon God only in the times of trouble, only in the times of need and help, they are Christians, followers of Christ, expecting something from God. So only when they need any help from God, they call upon God. For other matters or other things, they themselves will go, find a way, leaving God aside and come back, and only in the times of trouble, their eyes will be upon God. So two kinds of calling upon God is there. But this verse, it means, when he calls upon me, I will answer him. The one who is true to God, the one whose soul is true and obedient to God, will call on God always. Whether small, whether big, whether medium, any kind of matter, he will call upon God. So, and God says here, when he calls upon me, when he calls me, I will answer him. When you call a person, a friend, okay? How many times does your friend pick up your call? 5 to 6 times. When you call for an urgent purpose, when you call upon someone, how many times they will answer us? Till their patience is there, till they have a good reputation on us, they will answer us back rightly, in a good way. If we call for, exceed 10 or 15 or 20 times and ask them help, they won't even pick up the call the next time, right? They will ignore us. They won't take a call. They will tell that fellow is making calls and he doesn't have a brain, or he doesn't have any mind, simply comes to me and pesters me and disturbs me. So I don't want to answer that fellow. So even though they see a call on their phone, on their mobile, they will make it silent and keep aside, right? So God here does not do such things in our life. How many times we call upon him, whether 50 or 100 times a day, 1,000 or 10,000 a day. So people don't usually call for that many times, but for an example I tell. Even though we call for 1 lakh time, God does not ignore a call, or he does not ignore us or our prayers. He answers us. He's just waiting for a person to call upon him. When you and I go to a shop, okay, for a dress shop, the shopkeeper very well knows that we are there to pick up a dress, right? In a textiles, we don't purchase tomatoes, right? Or we don't purchase any gifts, a car or bike there. In the textiles, there will be clothing and other belt and wallet and shoes, that's it. Shopkeeper very well knows that you are going to purchase either shirt or pant or whatever things that is there. But he needs clarity from you and me, right? If we go and stand, I have come to your shop, just read my mind and give whatever I need. He will chase us away. Go, run back to your home. He won't accept us in. So he very well knows that his shop has only several things, like example, 10 things, 10 kinds of things, clothing, shoes, belt, wallet, perfume, like that. He very well knows that among these 10 things, we are going to choose anything, right? Not apart from those 10 things that are in the shop. So only the 10 things from within we are going to select. And the shopkeeper is very, very keen on us, and he already knows that we are come here to pick up something among the 10. But he still asks you, what do you want, sir, or what do you want, ma'am, right? So he wants you to be specific. And I want this thing, so take up that. So he will go and, so no shopkeeper will ever tell you, no, I won't take, you come and take, no. So he won't neglect you. When you call upon them, it's their duty, it's their job to take things from the racks and shelves, and it's their duty, it's their responsibility to answer us back. The same thing applies here. God tells that you have come to my textile. Just metaphorically I'm speaking. You have come to my presence, and I have several things for you. Be specific so that it's my duty to give it to you. But what we do most of the times, We don't call upon God, but expect only answers and blessings from Him. God knows everything, but He wants us to be specific, and He wants us to call upon His name. That's it. It's not a difficult task, but many think that that's very very problematic, or sometimes very hard thing to do. So those are the things that we miss in our lives today. And God tells, when He calls, and I will answer him. So, which means a God is not a deaf God, right? A deaf person, not able to hear. No. So in all the situations, whether ups and downs, or prosperous time, or not so prosperous, a desert kind of thing, in all situation, God sees us as well as He hears all our prayers. So He's not a deaf God, not being in a distance and just hearing some prayers and not attentive to our prayers. No, He's very attentive. He's very mindful of us. He listens to all our prayers and answers. So, but we see, we sometimes we think that God is deaf. We think, how many times I pray for the same request, how many times I need to repeat the same prayer request. So we ultimately come to a point that the time is up and time is about to get over. So let me put this prayer point as it is. If God's will, it will be done. No. God here tells us, call upon me and I will answer you. So He answers and promises us that He is always available to answer us. He's always free. He's always very cautious and available to all our prayers. But first step is to call upon Him. So when you call God at last, right? When failure comes, after trying on their own ways and dealing with other people and their own mind, their own strength, and after getting failure and dangers and hurts from others, finally they will come, right? They will come to God and ask God, pray to God, Lord, you have told me, call upon me in the times of trouble, and I am here bringing up all the requests to you, answer me. At the end time, final time, the time of death, we will come and ask God to give any aid or help. So number two, what God does is that I will be with Him in trouble. When we call upon Him, He will descend down, right? He steps down from His glory and comes down. So that's what Jesus did. Being glorious God and magnificent God, for our requests, for our iniquities and sins, to forgive us, to give us new life, He stepped down, which means He descended down and be with us in times of trouble. So He is not a God who dwells on heaven, on His throne always, but He dwells with us on earth too. So His presence is everywhere, on earth and heaven and everywhere. So He not just sits on throne enjoying, but He also steps down and comes down with us in times of trouble. So God not just comes down, but also suffers with us in our trouble. So He guides us in our troubled times. He guides us our steps. He makes firm our steps and leads us in good paths. So it doesn't mean God is away, apart from us, and He is watching us, watching our trouble and watching us getting into trouble, and He's simply there. No, He is a God who is with us, which means Emmanuel, right? When God is with us, He is Emmanuel. So when God is with us, He is also with us in our problem, in our trial and temptation. So He also gives ideas and guidance in times of trouble. And next we see, I will deliver him. The third thing that God tells here, I will deliver him. So delivering something is not that we expect like a food delivery or something, not giving delivery, but bringing you out from something dangerous. So not just a giving kind of delivery, but a delivery which makes our life to a proper place. He sets our life in a proper place to deliver us from the evil, and that's what the Lord's Prayer is. To deliver us from the evil ones, from the devil, from the evil things. Which means taking us out of the sin, taking us out of the hands of devil and the evil things, and He puts us in a good and prosperous place. So I will deliver him. So that's what God promises here. He assures here. So He is able to deliver us from any kind of sin, from any kind of trial and temptation. So we need to do is to have faith in His timing and in Him alone. In the 16th verse, it says, with long life I will satisfy him and show him my salvation. With long life, the first line says, with long life I will satisfy him. So, satisfying a person is a very difficult thing, right? You cannot satisfy all your 30 friends altogether. You cannot change your character to 30 different types, right? So you will have one character, you can adopt to one or two other characters, you can adjust with them, but you cannot satisfy everyone. The problem today is people try to satisfy everyone. We cannot do that. Even Christ did not do that, right? What we think is that we as a people of God, we need to satisfy everyone. We need to satisfy each and everyone's opinion, everyone's dream. So that is impossible. Even Jesus did not do that. Not that He was not able to do, but His ethics did not allow Him to do that. He cannot satisfy Pharisee. He cannot satisfy the thoughts of Pharisees and align His life according to their opinion. His lifestyle was different. So in life, what people or youngsters most of the times do is they think that we need to attract everyone by our behavior. We need to adjust things. We need to adjust all our friends. We need to get good name from everyone. That is impossible. That is impossible. We cannot get good name from everyone, right? So for one teacher we will be very pet, and they will come and in their period we will get good name, but not with every other teacher, right? The same thing applies in life. So it's like trying to impress others. So for many years, what people did was, even today it takes another different stage, but those people will think something. So I need to satisfy them. I need to adjust all these things. Good things that we need to adjust, and we need to make it short. And we must consider others. Not with every other matters. We cannot compromise with everything, right? One person will have one opinion. Other person will have one other opinion. So this opinion will be contradicting to other, or our belief and our mind or our ideas will be contradicting to others. So we cannot adjust that, right? So we will be coming to a point where we won't satisfy anyone. Very less number of people will be satisfied. So God tells that with long life I will satisfy him, which means we all have different ideas. We all have different ambitions, right? We all have different plans in future. One God satisfy all our desires without any without even compromising anything. So I can't satisfy all your things, right? I cannot behave to all your wish. But God, he says that I will, with long life, giving long life, I will satisfy him. Which means, whoever calls upon his name, I will give him long life and I will satisfy him. Which means, whatever he desires, or whatever he brings to me in prayer, or whatever he wishes according to my will, I will satisfy him. So I can't satisfy 100 people's opinion, but God his act is to satisfy everyone according to their will, without even compromising anything. So that's the nature of God. So the one who calls upon the name of God, one who puts God first, he will have long life, as well as God will satisfy him physically and spiritually. Both the things God will satisfy him. And the last line says, and show him my salvation. So salvation is being saved. So the meaning of the name of Jesus, Jesus, is God saves, Yahweh saves. So that's the similar thing. That's the similar thing for Joshua. So after Moses, Joshua led the people of Israel. The meaning of the name of Joshua is Yahweh is my salvation. Yahweh saves. And the same is Joshua in Greek, it is Jesus, which means he saves. And that is why Jesus saved the people, you and me, from the realm of death, from sin, from transgressions, from all kind of the evil thing. As Joshua saved the people of Israel, Jesus saved his people. So he says that I will show my salvation. I will save people. I will show them my salvation. The people who call upon me, they will experience my salvation. They will watch my salvation. They will sit back on a position. They need not do anything, but I will do things for them. All they need is to call upon me and sit aside. Watch. I will do everything for them on their behalf. So today, we have come to the end, but you see, God assures 6 things today. We will see from the life of Moses. We are going to end just 2-3 minutes. From the life of Moses, we are going to shortly see these 6 assurances. So, Psalms 91 was written by Moses. So, when we read Psalms, the book of Psalms, not all 150 Psalms were written by David. Few Psalms were written by Korah, Asaph, and Moses too, and David, and people of course say Solomon too. So it's a combination of God's saints' work. So this 90th and 91 and other Psalms, little Psalms, were written by Moses. And this 91 Psalm that we meditated today, the verse 15 and 16, was written by Moses. And we see 6 assurances of God in these 2 verses that we meditated today. So from Moses' life, we see God assured these 6 things. Also, God brought in that 6 assurance into activity in Moses' life. We see an incident, the Red Sea incident, Exodus 13, verse 17 to 22. We see a beautiful passage. We need not read that, but I will just tell the gist. Crossing the Red Sea. So when Pharaoh and all the people came behind the people of Israel, and Moses was leading them, so it's a tough time. It's a struggling time. It's a life-going event. So all the people of Israel is going to perish. So that's what the people of Israel thought. The Pharaoh is chasing us from behind, and ahead of us we have Red Sea. We don't have any other hope or way to go to the other side. But Moses, what he does is that he called upon God. That's what the Bible says, right? Even in such difficult times, people were looking at the Pharaoh who was chasing, and his armies who was chasing from behind. But Moses was seeking God. He called upon God. Moses had no other go or no other way, because God sent Moses for a purpose. And he brought out people. Now it's God's way and God's will to open the Red Sea. And now God is desiring to open doors for the people of Israel, but he waits for Moses to make it more specific, and he waits for Moses to call upon him. And when Moses called upon God, we see he answered Moses' prayer. He was in the times of trouble with Moses. So that thing was a trouble in Moses' life, but God was with Moses in that trouble. And when Moses called upon God, he came down and opened the way and delivered them, right? And he honored Moses before the people of Israel. So when Moses called upon God, he satisfied Moses with manna and with all heavenly gifts, right? With quail and manna. So for Moses, his sake, for the sake of Moses, the people of Israel also had that. So God allowed those blessings and satisfied the people of Israel for one reason, for Moses. For that reason, he satisfied Moses, as well as through Moses, the people of Israel enjoyed that blessing. When Moses called upon God, finally, he showed the people of Israel, as well as Moses, his salvation. Right? So these 6 assurances God makes in our lives too. That one thing that he expects from us is to call upon him. So let's cultivate the habit of calling upon God. God tells, when you call upon me, I will answer you. So 6 assurance from Moses' life, from the Red Sea experience. Today it applies to us. Whenever we call upon God, whenever we put God first and call his name, Lord, please help me. I'm stepping this. Not in times of trials and troubles alone, but a good thing. Before we begin a good thing, calling upon God is a good thing. So, not just only in times of trouble we need to go and reach God. No. Also in times of good things. So, Lord, I'm going to do this. Lord, help me to do this. I'm going to do this good thing. Help me. Send your salvation in my life before me. Send your angels before me. So these are the things that God expects from us. So God also assures each and every one of us these 6 things. What are the 6 assurance? God tells, when you call upon me, I will answer you. Number 1, I will be with you in times of trouble. I will deliver you. I will honor you. I will satisfy you. I will show you my salvation. So no person can come to all these 6 stages. They will, of course, sometimes answer us, be with us in trouble. Like, let's take 100 people are there. When we call upon them, some 90 people will come for help, right? And when we face trials and temptations and problems and struggles, some 80 people would be there. 10 people will leave us. And in order to deliver us from such problems, some 70 people will come and help us to deliver us, help us to move forward. Other 10 people will go. And to honor us, other 10 people will go. Only 60 people will honor among those 100. To satisfy us, 50 people or 40 people, other 10 or 20% of the people will be gone. To show salvation, which means to show the victory, the saving, no one can do this. Right? Only God can do salvation. So we see in all these stages, some 10 left, from 20 left, from 30 left. But God assures that when you call upon me, I will show my 100% of strength and presence and power till you get salvation. From the time when I answer you till the time I show you my salvation, my power will be as it is. I won't leave you nor forsake you. So God and his angels will forever be with us to guide us and to help us from getting out from all the things. So just get reminded of the 6 assurance of God. And today's title is 6 beautiful assurance of God. And these 6 beautiful things will lead and guide us throughout the life when we call upon God first. Let us look to the Lord in prayer.